Good morning. This is Math with Mr. Samuels. Good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. Before you start the video, just like normally, want to make sure that you have the notes. Make sure that you have the notes and make sure that you are following along. Today's video is going to be pretty short. The good thing about multiplication and division of integers is the rules apply for both. The rules are the same for both. So let's go ahead and jump into this. If we have two positives. So what does that mean? That means if we are multiplying one positive number by another positive number, or a positive integer by another positive integer, then we will always have a positive answer. Okay? And when we are multiplying two negative integers by one another, so a negative times a negative, we will also have a positive answer. Okay? And let's move down. And if we are multiplying a positive times a negative or a negative times a positive, then that answer will always be negative. So if you look at those rules, one thing you'll notice is anytime we have a positive times a positive or a negative times a negative, or in other words, anytime the signs are the same and we are multiplying, the answer is always going to be positive. Anytime these signs are different, positive times a negative or a negative times a positive, the answer will be negative. So what I want you to do is right here in your notes, I want you to go ahead and say same equals positive and differ equals negative. Okay, going to give us a negative answer. Okay. So we need to make sure that we remember that when we are doing these problems. So let's go ahead and practice this. So let's look at the first one. We have -2 times -7. Well, are the signs the same or are they different? Well, we have a negative and a negative, so they are the same. So as a result, we know the answer is going to be positive. And 2 times 7 is still 14. So the answer of -2 times -7 is just going to be 14. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's look at number 3. Number 3, we have 3 parentheses -8. Now, one thing I want you to realize is the higher levels of math that you go into, no longer will you see the multiplication sign. You will see the multiplication sign less and less the higher you go up in middle school and high school. So now you will start to see parentheses, and all this just simply means is multiplication. So we have 3 times -8. Well, we have the 3 that is positive and the 8 that is negative. So as a result, the signs are different. So the answer is always going to be negative. And the answer ends up being 8 times 3 is 24. So the answer is -24. So what I want you to do is I want you to apply these rules to all the rest of these practice problems. We're going to discuss them in class tomorrow. Let's jump down to division. Well, like I said above, the rules are exactly the same for multiplication and division. So as a result, if we have the same sign and we're dividing, then the answer is going to be positive. If we have different signs and we are dividing, then the answer is going to be negative. Okay, so same rules apply. So let's look at number 9. We have 2 positive integers, 44 divided by 4. That is still going to be the same signs. So as a result, the answer is going to be positive 11. Okay, and let's look at number 12. Okay, if we look at number 12, we have a -40 divided by a positive 5. Well, are the signs the same or are they different? They are different. Anytime the signs are different, we are going to have a negative answer. So as a result, we have -40 divided by positive 5, which is 8. And since we know the signs were different, it's going to be negative. So the final answer is -8. So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and finish all of these practice problems, including the word problems. The word problems are pretty straightforward, and we are going to discuss them in class tomorrow. Once again, this is Math with Mr. Samuels. Hopefully this video was straightforward. I know that it was pretty short, but hopefully the concept is pretty straightforward. If we are multiplying or dividing two integers that have the same sign, the answer is always going to be positive. And if we are multiplying or dividing two integers with different signs, the answer is always going to be negative. This was Math with Mr. Samuels. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.